Hey everyone, just a quick update on where we're at with the transmission. Today I decided to clean it up and wire wheel it up a bit and get the rust off of it, maybe throw some paint on it, and I discovered something that's a bit of a roadblock. I didn't notice it before, but I definitely noticed it once I hit it with the wire brush. Yeah. The case on that is toast. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do yet. I do have another transmission case. Maybe I could swap the gears out or swap them into the one that's there in the truck. I haven't decided yet, but this one's obviously not going to work. Okay, so today's the day. It's been like pushing 2 months. I haven't changed this transmission yet, so I'm going to start it today. It's middle of April and it broke like the end of February, so anyway, today's the day. We're going to get a good jump on it. I'll pull the dry shafts and start unhooking everything, but before I do that, I've got to take the top off the other transmission. This one here, this came out of the truck that I had, one of the first videos that I have up there, the Beast. This transmission came out of that. It's broken here. The splines back here are not the greatest, but when the coupler's on, it's pretty good as far as the tightness goes, so I'm hoping that holds up. Like I say, this transmission here has got that big split in the bottom of it, so I think I'm just going to throw this in for now, run this, and when I get the transmission out of the truck, I can put the gear set out of this in it. This is a really tight gear set that's in it. Everything looks good. Like I say, there was a bit of surface rust inside of it from where it had been sitting without oil in it, but I lubed it up and it's not as bad now. Like, it's just, like I say, surface rust. So we're gonna throw the internals of that into the tranny that's in the pig once I get it out. So I gotta pull the top off this and put the top off of this one on it, get it geared up, and like I say, this one's not the tightest in the world, but we're gonna send it. And yeah, it should work out for a while anyway. We'll see. I've never driven this transmission on the street, just in the sand pit, because the truck never got to the point where it was road legal or anything like that. So I've never had it in third gear, fourth gear. I've just had it in like first and second. So hopefully it doesn't have that pop at a third issue that a lot of them have when they get old and abused. Fingers crossed anyway. So yeah, I got to take the top off this, swap them up. I'm going to clean out the gudgeons out of the bottom, check that magnet that's in there, see, you know, what kind of metal's in there. And then, like I say, pull dry shafts, unhook my e-brake, which is obviously on my drive line. Gotta unhook that so I can get my T-case out. Pull both the shifters and the other stuff that's hooked up to it. No real wiring in these things, just the reverse switch. Cross member. And then pull the T-case off, where I gotta separate it anyway. I'm not gonna pull it all out as one. I'll separate it so that it's easier to get down. So yeah, that's where we're at. It's not the greatest day out here. It's about 7 degrees, on the verge of raining. That's 45 degrees for those of you viewing in the States. Okay, so the cover's off of this. Just to clarify this for people who want to know, this gear down in here at the bottom, that one right there, that's reverse. It's got to dog into this like a little tiny bit, not much. That's how you get it off. This is your reverse gear. When you go to do it, and you go to take it off, put the shifter in. And I don't know if you can see that very good or not, but that little detent ball that's in there, it's got to be lined up the way that that one is. It's got to be part way on those keys. So all the way obviously will put you right into reverse. You want it just nudged into it. So you shift it into reverse just a tiny bit. And you'll know if it works because you'll be able to get the shifter out still. You hear like a little pop and it'll come out. That means that this is only over far enough to just push the detent in. And then you can pull your shifter back out. In the same way, when you go back in, you got this fork into here, this fork into here, and the reverse one goes down in and dogs into that groove there. All right. Then in order to get your shifter back in, just take a pry bar and go in the hole and pop that reverse detent back. Once you see that the keys are lined up, one this way, and then the detent lined up so it's straight through, that's neutral. And you'll be able to put the shifter in and good to go. Okay, so I'm going to put the top back on this just to keep the crud out of it and whatnot. Like I say, you put this in so it goes down towards the reverse gear. Line the other shift forks up and just drops right in. Then you take a pry bar and just pop that detent back. Ding, just like that. That way your shifter can go back in. Just like that. And it shifts. So back in neutral. That way, keep some of the crud out of that. Okay, so the transmission's ready to go back in. I got the top back on it. The gasket was pretty much screwed, so I just used RTV. Pulled one of the PTO panels off the side, and I got that back on the gasket. Made it through that process. There's a magnet inside. This is the one out of the other one. Pulled that out, cleaned it up as best I could, and put that back in it. It was pretty glittery. The gears don't look too bad in this case, and the case itself looked a lot better than what the other one did. I think the other one must have sat in water or something with the crack in the bottom of it, because it was pretty rusty inside. But this one here still has that like reddish primer on it, so yeah, we're good there. Like I say, the only downfall of this one is the splines look kind of shitty. But like I say, we're just gonna send it. This one shifts good. I got the top from the other one on it. Seems pretty good. Tried it in all the gears. Hopefully it doesn't have that pop at a third bull crap that these develop over time. Only time will tell once it's in there and it gets working. So the only other thing that I managed to accomplish was, I'll hop in here and show you. I pulled the hump off the tunnel, got that off, pulled the shifters. Yeah, that's about it really. So now I'm ready to Take the drive shaft bolts out. The torque arm for what holds the like torque bracket for the transfer case. The 2 bolts for the transmission mount underneath the adapter, and then the 4 bolts for the cross member. Rear drive shaft's got to come off, and the cable for the e-brake's got to come off, which I gotta remember to unpop that now. There. I've been kind of mulling it over. I don't know what the deal is with the bow housing. I might try to just leave that on and take these 4 bolts out. The only problem is my slave cylinder release bearing that's in there, the throat bearing. It's all internal, right? So if I can manage to get my hand back in there to line it up when I shove the transmission back in, I can get it through, get it back on that sleeve. If I can manage to do that, I won't have to bleed or unhook any of those lines, any of that crap. So I might try and do that, and I can just leave it bolted up. Not that I couldn't get it unbolted, because you can get at it pretty easy, especially with this tunnel off. But I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm going to try and do it without pulling that off. So I'll drop the T-case off the back, undo it here, and just pull the whole, the cross member, the adapter, and the T-case all at once out of there. Then I'll pull this bad boy off, and then I'll pull the sleeve for the throat. I'll pull that off and put it on the other transmission, because that one's all cleaned up and whatever, and I'll make sure that it's sealed good, because I had that leak in September when I changed it. The last time I didn't have it sealed good enough. So anyway, I got a gasket in there, and I'll just put more RTV on it and slap it back together, keep it from leaking. And then yeah, throw everything back in, and hopefully she runs through the gears and works. So I think I'm gonna call it for tonight, and hit it again tomorrow. It's been raining quite a bit. I don't feel like sliding under this thing and getting more wet and crappy, so see you tomorrow.